Hello everyone. See here I have another Ruger handgun. You might notice I've been doing a lot of Rugers lately. That's mostly because I'm kind of a new Ruger fan, so there's a lot of Rugers out there right now that I like quite a bit. So I've been wanting to try them out, and I've really become a huge Ruger fan over the last 6, 7, 8 months. Huge fan. This here is the SR9 full size. I wanted to give this one a try because I was so impressed with their SR9C that I wanted to try this one. This one here has a lock, 2 magazines, which as you know I'm a huge fan of. Magazine loader, instruction manual, all that stuff. All that good stuff. So as you notice, this one here is black grips and a brushed stainless slide. Grips are glass-filled nylon. This has a capacity of 17 rounds in the magazine. Like I said, it does come with 2 mags, which I am a huge fan of. The mags clearly state on here SR9 9x19 millimeter. So you can't get them confused with anything else, any other handguns you might own. Here's a 9mm round. This one here is Critical Defense from Hornady. This one, it does come in a black Nitrox Pro finish, and I've also seen what's really cool. Couldn't get my hands on one though. I've seen one that has a OD green grips, which I kind of like. I like stuff that's a little bit different than normal. The length is 7.55 inches. Barrel is 4.14 inches. The height is 5.52 inches, and the width is 1.27 inches. It's one thing I really like about this handgun is the thinness, and that's the one nice thing that the polymer grips get you. It's a lot thinner than a Beretta 92 9mm. Lot thinner, and the Beretta fills up my hand. To me, it's, you know, some people complain the grip's a little thick. To me, it fills up my hands just nice, very nicely. But this, you know, this is kind of nice. It's nice to have a thinner grip. Also, yeah, I can get my hand around that good too. But this would be good for shooters that don't have as big a hands. Be able to get your hands around there pretty good. It has adjustable 3-dot sight. The rear sight here, there's a little notch here for elevation, and both front and rear are set up so that they're drift adjustable for windage. The trigger on here is kind of the, I guess, as far as I know, Glock was the first one to kind of come out with this, with the safety on there. It's probably not necessary since there is a manual safety, unlike the Glock. But it's for me, it's fine. I'm glad they did it. I guess I'm not really anti this type trigger. It's not something I look for in a pistol. Aside from a Glock, you know, if a handgun doesn't have a manual safety, then yes, I would want this. It's not necessary on this, but it's an additional safety. I have no problem with it. It really doesn't affect my shooting style. That little slack in there I take up pretty quick when I'm shooting. Doesn't really affect anything for me. And overall, the trigger on here is pretty crisp. It has a nice break on it. It's a little long, not bad at all though. For me, it has a pretty crisp break on it. So overall, I like the trigger. And also the safety on it is on the lower frame, not on the slide, like on some handguns. I guess one of the biggest things I always hear people say break on handguns, or on any gun for that matter, is the extractor. And that's one thing I've always liked about Ruger handguns, or at least the ones I've used. they always have this huge gargantuan extractor. I don't think there's any issue or any fear of this extractor breaking on this handgun. That thing is huge, and when you pull the slide back and look at the inside, I mean, it continues. See if I can get a good shot here of it. Let me focus. So as you can see, this extractor on here is significant. Really heavy duty extractor. And then also another thing here too, it does have the round indicator. The back strap is reversible. It's pretty easy. You have straight, where this one is curved. And also the safety and mag release are ambidextrous. And of course a Picatinny rail. I don't know if we'll ever see a polymer framed handgun that doesn't have a Picatinny rail, at least not till it, I don't know if that's something that'll ever go out of fashion. Fashions always change with firearms, just like anything else. So to take it apart, first you want to make sure it's cleared, which I did before I did the review. Then you pop out this pin. I should use a little bit better than that. I want to mar the finish. Pin comes out just like that, just like on the SR9C. Then there's a little lever that you want to flip in there. Some people choose not to stick their finger in there. I normally do. I guess I'm a brave soul. And just slide it out. Unlike the Glock, you don't have to pull the trigger on this to get it to go out, which is nice. There's the spring and the barrel. I think two of my favorite innovations in handguns, and I have no idea what company came up with this innovation and what handgun was the first to do it, but I really like the one piece where there's no link on here, like on the 1911 and even the Beretta 92. I really like that one piece. It's nice. There's nothing to fool with. And then the other innovation I like is the captive spring. I think that's nice. You never have to worry about that spring shooting off on its own. I mean, I suppose the whole thing could shoot off, but it seems like the older springs were under a lot more tension. Not sure what they do differently now, but you know, if this were to ever pop out, it probably wouldn't even really shoot that far, because it's when the slide is, or when the barrel is when it's in its home position, there's not that much tension on the spring, which I kind of like. However, in general, this is, you know, a pretty stout spring, so when the slide is back on this thing, it's very, very firm. Then we got putting it back together is pretty simple. Pop this in. Don't forget to flip that little lever back. There it is. Overall, I love this pistol. I shot it. It's very smooth. Recoil is very minimal, just like the Beretta 92, which, you know, like I've said many times before, that's kind of what I guess I base all handguns, and especially 9mm, I kind of base them off of that because I'm just so familiar with that. It's a very, very nice handgun, though. I really like it. I would highly recommend it to anybody out there shopping around for a 9mm. And it's kind of cool because, gosh, just maybe 4 or 5 months ago, the only 9mm I had was the Beretta 92, and I made a comment to a couple people that I wish I had more 9mm because I really like the 9mm. And since then, I've purchased 3 more, all of them by Chance Rugers. The LC9, SR9 compact, and now the full-size SR9. So, and I'm sure there will be many more 9mm to come. So, but anyway, if you haven't tried this one out, the SR9, give it a go. Semper Fi. We have 25 yards.